Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my series Learning from the Masters. You're joining me today from the beautiful city of Edinburgh as I take a look around some of the art shops and visit the National Galleries of Scotland. I had a really nice day trip with my mum, having a look around the museum and Edinburgh, but the main reason for coming to the National Galleries of Scotland is because they have a room upstairs which is full of Impressionist artwork. So I thought that would be a nice tie-in from the first episode, learning about Impressionism, because little did I know that they actually had the original painting by Monet, Poplars on the Epte, in the gallery. So being able to see that in the flesh was amazing, and it was such a nice surprise. I had no idea that it was there until we went, and it was just amazing to see it up close and personal. I could have spent hours, to be honest, looking around these same paintings again and again in the gallery, and the video doesn't really do them justice with the reflection and the lighting, but it's well worth a visit. If you watched my last video, you would have seen me start this sketch of a painting by Berthe Morisot, Women at her Toilette, and I did this sketch just very, very lightly in pencil, and I think it's important to practice freehand drawing wherever possible. I tend to do all of my drawings freehand, so practicing that has been very important. I think it's a really good skill to have, and I have never actually tried to draw a full female figure before. I've done parts. I went to life drawing and I've drawn the female nude, but I've always struggled to get proportions correct, so this was a bit of a challenge in itself before even getting into the oil pastels. As you can see, I've started with the background for this sketch, and that is how I tend to approach any painting. I will always start with the background because I just find it really difficult to work from white and a plain white background, so if I can get a background colour at least sketched in, then it loosens me up a little bit for the rest of the painting. And you'll see here that I've got a separate little box of colours that I was using for the hair and the face. I'm really enjoying learning more and more about the Impressionist movement as I move through this series, and as much as it's fun creating the artwork, I'm really enjoying learning more and more about the artists themselves. And Berthe Morisot was actually in really good company. She worked alongside Degas, Manet and Renoir, and her paintings tended to take a look at the sort of bourgeois lifestyle and women's fashion and things, so her subjects were quite different, and I would really like to learn more about the female impressionists, so I think that'll be a whole separate video at some point. think what I really like about this portrait is that it's not a typical portrait where the sitter is staring back at you from the canvas. It's very candid and she's sort of caught unaware, just fixing herself or taking her hair out. I think it's flowers that are on her bedside table from her hair, and the Impressionists were just so good at capturing these sort of everyday moments and turning them into these beautiful works of art. It's often these sort of moments that just pass us by without us even thinking, and yeah, I think that's what makes them so lovely. But anyway, I could talk about how much I love the Impressionists forever, but I think you get the idea by now. Unlike the last painting that I tried to recreate, this one felt really difficult with the oil pastels. There were so many sort of bigger, looser brush strokes that I noticed when I was trying to recreate it with the pastels that I don't really feel I captured the sort of essence, if you like, of the painting, the original painting. But you know, the whole point of this sketchbook is really just to practice, learn and improve. So I'm not too concerned that it didn't look exactly how it was meant to look in the end, but that's just some thoughts to take forward. So maybe I need to try and recreate this in not oil pastels, with oil paints at some point. And yeah, it was very difficult to get the right sort of colour matches, and it was just a challenge, but it was a fun challenge, so I guess that's the important thing. And I think for this video I'm just going to do a bit of a speed paint. I'll speed up the rest of the video along with some music, and you can just watch and enjoy, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye!